fire, fire for fire, fire. Internet historian, thank you for providing us with a bountiful video. NordVPN. Boom.
Brought to you by NordVPN.
NordVPN. Tell me if it's too loud. Oh.
Oh. It's you.
Aye!
You've completed the crash course on theater and wine, have
I
you?
did.
Feeling
I watched the incognito ones. Yeah, I did. I'm very cool.
smug, are we? Deserving
Smug?
of love, perhaps? Worthy of eye contact?
It's smug.
That's cute. But there's still a lot more work to be done. Look here. These shoes are made from real Italian leather. This bag is
Wow.
made from the leather of real Italians. Not impressed? How about this fur coat? It's made from the wolf of Wall Street.
Ah,
An Xbox with the original PT demo still installed. A signed
Wow.
first edition copy of Moby Dick with its little known sequel, Moby Balls.
Moby Dick and balls.
And last but not
It's
least,
funny.
the squid from Squid Game. Don't you get it? Oddities.
Yeah.
Weird stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the first section's on perfume. Listen, I'm going to level with you. I kind of got distracted, and we went off topic. I don't even know what this is about anymore. Here's my Netflix stand-up special. It should explain everything.
Ooh.
That's going to be a hard act to follow. That Kramer guy has some very good one-liners. But I've got some jokes lined up. Question. Why is perfume so expensive?
I thought real perfume was made from like whale ingress or something. Whale, it's like whale nasty, like whale stuff. Ambergris, yeah, ambergris. Whale puke, yeah, that one.
Because you have to pay perfume.
I thought I was being cool, and this guy just ruined it. Boo!
Why do they call it cologne? Have you ever smelt one of those? It ain't great.
Get out the stage, you phony!
Oh, mic must not be working. Deodorant? In this market, I'd want a deodor buy. Is this thing on? Okay, let me tell you the story of perfume. See, to be fancy, people wanted to stink good, but people naturally stink bad. It's
Yeah.
science. So
Yeah.
in the beginning, people went to the
chat
garden
would
to
know.
find the best-smelling things that they could. Here's a photo of the oldest perfume bottles ever found. And what's inside? Just garden stuff that smells nice.
Yeah.
But we did not just stop at that, because the story of perfume is the story of progress. By the time Cleopatra came around, perfume science had really advanced. You see, Cleopatra loved perfume. In fact, it was said that she had a whole perfume factory. The
Nice.
olfactory, I believe they called it. But this factory wasn't just mashing flowers. They were using emulsifiers, adding resins, creating tinctures.
Wow.
Cleopatra's very own Chanel No. 1 contained cardamom, cinnamon, olive oil, and myrrh. So we've gone from garden to pantry.
Nice.
And she loved spritzing
Okay.
the stuff everywhere, supposedly even spraying it all over the sails of her ship. That way, people could smell her from miles off as she sailed the night.
Dude, that is so basic. Why would you do that? Everyone can smell me from a mile away. Very cool.
By the early Middle Ages, we had figured out the formula for perfume. Effectively, there are three main components: water, alcohol, and the most important bit, the aromatic oils. And by the way,
Okay.
perfume and cologne are actually the same thing, but in different ratios of these ingredients. By the 1600s, they were trying all sorts of different things. Some things went well. Dude, pine. Pine. What about orange? I call it new car smell. But once global trade opened up, our taste became more exotic. Out of the
Chocolate.
pantry and into the petting zoo. For you see, it turns out that animals have been hoarding all of the most bestest perfume smells. Yeah.
Really?
In the olden days, a bunch of manly men would brave very rough seas in order to pull aboard sperm whales. Now, they would cut open the digestive tract and pluck out a secretion of bile called ambergris, or in English, grey amber. Sometimes they would
Ambergris.
harvest the rest of the whale, but eventually, ambergris became so valuable that it was simply more economical to dump the carcass back in the ocean and collect the next batch.
Wow.
Like when you kill a racehorse for its prize
$27 a gram. That's a lot of money.
winning jizz and then just leave it there on the tracks. Alright, quick science lesson, eggheads. Ambergris comes from the gross part of the whale. And when the whale eats something quite sharp, let's say human bones, the ambergris forms around them and protects the lining of the gut. That's the ambergris' role. That way, as the sharp thing continues down the intestines, the whale doesn't get poked. But if ambergris comes from a whale's digestive tract, what does it smell like? Surely not good. When it's dry, it smells kind of woody and earthy, but when it's wet, it smells like ass. But it's not actually the smell that's the useful function. Ambergris is a fixative. So what it does is heighten and bring out the scent of other things.
Let me read that. Hold on, I'm kind of curious. What does it say? Let's read it together. Fixatives slow the rate of perfume evaporation, making it last longer. In ambergris, this fixative is an odorless alcohol called ambien, which has a higher evaporation point than regular alcohol. Oh, what I'm learning. Wow. Cool.
These flowers?
It makes it stick to your skin
smell
better.
all right,
Yeah.
But add some ambergris and that's the one. Now, once they figured this out, they realized, oh, there's a whole bunch of things we can use a fixative for. And they got quite gross with it. They added it to food.
Ew!
In fact, it was said that King Charles's favorite dish was ambergris on eggs. But they didn't stop there. They added it to rum. They added it to coffee. They added it to cigarettes and smoked it. And they used it as an aphrodisiac. Now, some people will say that the whale is a mammal. But that's not strictly true. It is, in fact, a fish. Just look at the tail. And you may have also heard that there are a lot fewer of them these days, which, although a relief because their absence helps offset the sea level change, climate, whatever, we were worried that we might run out. So we said no more hunting whales for ambergris. But did that stop the perfumers? No. They immediately asked, hey, do you think there are any other animals that smell kind of weird? Yes. Turns out the musk deer has some potential. Now, we hunt the male musk deer specifically because it has a particular gland called a musk pod, which, when dried out, looks like this.
Ew.
And it uses it to mark its territory and attract mates. Now, don't worry.
Mas, can we have that guy banned?
Unlike ambergris, this doesn't smell like ass. Instead, it smells like ammonia and piss. And you just can't get a smell like that at home. So we started hunting them to the point where they were a protected species.
You're stealing our piss, chat.
So the authorities said, you have to find a different animal. So from there, they moved on to hyrax feces. One of the most feared and dangerous animals in all
Wait, so perfume in the end is actually really bad smelling?
of Africa. And it was the inspiration for the original Lynx Africa smell. Now, their feces, when dried, is called hyraceum, or Africa stone. But it's not just these ones, they have other stones in Africa. Come on, guys. Now, the smell is fairly similar to deer musk, but unlike the deer, the hyrax doesn't need to be killed or disturbed for their feces. They're just giving it away.
Oh, they're kind of cute, yeah. Yeah, they're kind of cute.
In fact, hyrax even have a communal toilet, which is used for generations, which makes it very easy to collect up all the good stuff. But it's not just the hyrax, I've got other animals. Remember those civets from the virus videos?
Ooh.
Wait,
I've seen
don't
them.
wash that thing's anus. Mom, get the bottle, get the bottle. Turns out it's the anal gland of the civet that's actually the important smelling bit. Who's figuring this out?
Why are they doing this, man? Is there no better way? Is there no chemical that they can create in a lab to imitate this?
They use the good parts of the animal. It's the bacon part of the pig, you know? Anyway, it's the ass that produces all the delicious musk.
Civet paste perfumery ingredient first impression and quick review. This guy actually smelled some civet's ass. No way.
It smells like shit.
Nah,
But it
really?
must be good for something because it goes for $4,000 a kilo.
Holy.
But we ain't done yet. You know when you've just killed a beaver and you cut open its ripe abdomen? Well, the reason it smells so good is because of a little gland called the castor sac, which
I've heard that beavers smell really, 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 really bad, yeah.
makes a yellowy scum-like substance called castoreum. And it is used to waterproof the beaver's fur coat and also mark its territory.
Castor oil.
It is also very fragrant. And you know what that means. If it smells, it sells. And in this case, castoreum is more kind of leathery, with smoky hints of vanilla. But unfortunately today, you're not allowed to harvest the beaver. They're walking around very smugly, just like the other protected animals. But you know what? We don't need them, because we have a synthetic version of castoreum now, and it's just as good. And you know what? We've got a synthetic for the whale, the deer, and the civet now. And they're used in lots of mainstream perfumes. Modern day, we've got a synthetic version of practically everything.
That's
and even
good.
better, the advancement of synthetics has opened up a huge range of smells that were never possible to distill or capture before. And the result is some very silly perfumes. You know that bacon bit of the pig? We got that now. Windex smelling, pretty much.
There's a glue smell. Guys, did you know when I was a little kid, I wanted to be a perfume maker? Unironically. Yeah, that dream got crushed. I don't remember why. I think it's because I didn't want to get a chemistry degree.
Anything you can think of, really, someone has created a fragrance of it. In some instances, we're even beating nature herself. For example, you know those roses that you get at the florist? And then people go, ah, these smell beautiful. But actually, those roses are not bred to smell good. They're so specialized for good looks, longevity, and disease resistance that they've practically altogether lost their smell. So often what the florist will do is add an additional scent to the flower post-picking.
Yeah.
And typically a synthetic...
If you go to a garden, like a park, and you sniff the roses, they don't smell like anything. Yeah.
Rose perfume is used because it lasts longer and doesn't dry out the flower. Yep, we're just that good. And what's the future for perfumes? Well, I don't know. But what I do know is it's gonna...
Smell-o-vision, that's the future. One day they'll have like a machine. If like a girl streamer farts, you can smell the fart.
Involve some comedy gold. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, my wife asked me for Chanel No. 5, and I was like, not right now. I'm watching the football. You know, like on the television.
Boo.
You know what? I am gonna say it. If it's good enough for Kramer, it's good enough for me. Ad time. This Christmas, she works in the big city.
Busy professional. My career, this and that.
But she's going home for Christmas.
Small towns are the worst. I'm a big city career gal. Oh my God, are you okay?
I am now. And she's about to learn the meaning of Nordmas. The most VPNist time of year with a 30-day money-back guarantee if you go to nordvpn.com/internethistorian.
Whoa.
Soon I will have installed public Wi-Fi in all of Nordville, and once they use it, their private data will be exposed. Governor Craven's got this town by the baubles, and I can't believe that big city company you work for works with him.
Come on, we have to put up the Nordmas lights for the big Nordmas festival.
What? Let's go ice skating. What?
He's so cute, but I'm a city girl.
Girl, you sound like you're in love.
I thought I knew what Nordmas meant, but it means nothing without you.
It's like the end of March.
It's always Nordmas time
It's
of year with
April,
Nord's huge
motherfricker.
discount on a 2-year plan. Use the URL nordvpn.com/internethistorian for a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's the best VPN in town.
Now, I love small
Wow.
town, and I'm in love with Nordman, but I can't leave behind big city Korea.
True love and a really good VPN don't come around too much. You gotta take a chance.
Boss, I don't care about making partner at the firm anymore. I've found my new home.
Big public Wi-Fi is spreading across the city. Nordmas will be ruined. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh,
Need a hand?
How are we gonna stop him, Nordman?
With this Nord-themed brick.
I love you, Nordman.
And I love you, big city woman. Let's go home and watch the international Netflix catalog. It's a Nordmas miracle. Go to nordvpn.com/internethistorian to get a huge deal on a 2-year plan plus 4 bonus Nordmas months. Ad's over. You know, that ad makes me think
Nice.
about the time I nearly
Good
had a
ad.
life. Feels like a lifetime ago now. I was in Japan, living the digital nomad lifestyle. I had a startup selling seashells down by the seashore. But I broke the
Sally.
one rule of being a digital nomad. I got mad. Digitally. And that's when I saw her. It was love at first sight. I remember her laugh.
Wait, this is a new character for Internet Historian. Let's go.
Her touch. Every morning, breakfast in bed.
Wow.
But the truth was, I
A cigarette on 2 Monster cans. That's romantic.
had no money.
Just say
We
you was a
couldn't live
woman.
on love alone, so I left. I sought out.
What the hell? Wait. I don't hear any music. Can you guys hear me? I think his video got muted. He got his audio claimed. Yeah, I can't hear what he's saying. That part got muted. Damn it!
And I bet you're
there
wondering
we
how
go.
I
We're
finally
back.
struck it rich.
See, sorry, child. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he got struck, I guess.
Well, truth is, I'm the guy who invented
Whinge.
the Joe Rogan podcast. Once I became a gajillionaire, I went back to that beach to try and find her. But instead, I hit her with my boat. We never found her body.
No!
She had a secret. One she took to her grave that I was sworn not to tell. She's not around, so... Dude, she was a mermaid!
Man.
Come on, champ, we're going to Japan. And here's where it all begins. In the year 2022. It's a Tuesday, probably. And local folklore researcher Hiroshi Kinoshita is looking up some fantastical animals in the National
Wait, that's a D&D character sheet.
Yokai Dictionary. It's like the bestiary from Witcher, right? And he comes across a photo negative of a mermaid mummy. Oh my god, he says
What the
in
hell's
Japanese.
that?
Upon seeing the mermaid, he knows that he must track it down. He must form a team. Researchers, assemble. So
Let's
he gets together the
go.
best damn crew that he can from the University of Science and Arts at the Okayama Prefecture.
They're so
And he
happy.
plans to track down the mermaid mummy, wherever it has escaped to. Now, it doesn't take him long to figure out
How do you lose a mermaid mummy anyway?
that it's being held at the Inuit temple in Asakuchi. You know the one. So he struts up
Asakuchi?
to the sacred building.
Coochie?
And there at the back of the temple is a fireproof safe. And inside of that is an old wooden box. And inside the old wooden box was the mermaid. We found it. We found a real one. But where did it come from? Well, alongside the mermaid was a note that dated back from 1903. And it said, a dried human fish, aka Ningyo, was caught almost 300 years ago over in the seas of Tosa.
It kind of looks like a baby chimp.
It was then dried out and taken to Osaka. And from there, it was passed around to many different people until it arrived at the temple. Now, the Ningyo have an important history in Japan, and sightings of these half-fish, half-human creatures have cropped up all across the country. Kinoshita himself had personally tracked down 13 of them all across
Ew, that's so terrifying.
Japan,
Ew.
usually kept in museums and temples. However, what you might not know is that traditionally they have been associated with bad omens. Aye. And everyone knows the infamous tale of Yao Bikuni.
No, I do not.
But I'll recite it to you just in case. So the
Good.
story is that one day, a poor fisherman catches the biggest fish of his life.
Wow.
It was a strange-looking fish, and its head was almost human-like. But he brought the fish home and invited all of his friends and family to come over for a feast to celebrate
make sushi.
his largest catch. You know, he's got his arms stretched out like this. He's like, it was this big. No, it was this big. I swear, it was this big. During dinner, one of the guests sneaks into the kitchen to see just how big it was. This big? I can't believe it. And he discovers that it is actually a Ningyo.
A
Oh no, he
mermaid.
says in perfect Japanese. Now he quickly warns the other guests, don't eat it. And he warns them just in time. Teishi. They've got their fork like right up to their mouth. Teishi eating that. Teishi, don't do it. They throw all their food away. Let's just have some rice and drink the night away. Okay, so they do. And they have a lovely evening. However, one very dishonorable guest decided to sneak a bit of the meat out of the trash and put it in his pocket. He then goes home drunk and falls asleep. He didn't eat it. But when he woke up the next morning, he checks his pockets and... no! The delicious fish piece is gone. Turns out, in the night, his daughter had been rummaging around in his pockets looking for treasure, and she found the meat from his pocket.
This makes no sense, but okay.
And she was
I'm
such a
following.
greedy guts that she decided to eat it then and there. The father
What?
was terrified for his daughter. But she didn't seem to be sick. Do you feel weird at all? And shaking her. He decided not to tell her anything.
She's gonna give birth to a mermaid.
Maybe it'll all be okay. However, from that day forward,
Pocket-ussy.
the daughter never aged. That's right. She remained a young adult forever.
Oh.
She eventually went on to marry. But as her husband got older, she stayed the same age. Eventually her father got old and died. And soon enough did her husband too. Everyone she ever
Immortality?
knew was getting older and dying, but she remained the same age. She was immortal. Eventually, at age 120, she decided to shave her head and become a Japanese nun. She traveled the country planting trees as she went, and she did this for 800 years.
Wow. Okay.
But eventually, she grew tired. You know what? I'm tired of living. She entered a cave in her hometown of Obama.
Nah. Obama. Obama. Thanks, Obama.
And she was determined to never come out
Obama.
again. She begged and prayed for the curse to end, but it never did. She sat in that cave for so long that she turned to stone.
Wow, okay.
And today, at
Thanks,
the
Obama.
Kuinji Temple in Obama, remains the cave that Yao Bakuni entered. People have been
cool.
into that cave to check whether she's still in there, but nothing was found. However, a stone statue of her resides at the entrance.
Cool.
And colloquially, it is called the Barack Obama.
Shut up.
So we're back with Hiroshi. He asked the Inuen Temple if he could borrow the Nino. Look, let me do a little CT scan on it, right? And they agreed. Hiroshi hands the Nino to a team of scientists, and they get to work. They
I bet you it's a little monkey or something, like a little mummified monkey. This makes no sense.
do their tests. Beep, beep, boop. Control plus scan on the keyboard, and here are the results.
It's stage 4 cancer. I'm so sorry.
No, but really, turns out the Nino dates back to the 1800s. The note that said it was from the 1700s was wrong.
Okay.
Its body is made from cloth and cotton, wrapped in pufferfish skin. The tail was made from a croaker. I don't know what that is. Can we show that on the screen?
It's a little
With
fish,
the mouth of a
okay.
different fish and the hair of a mammal. And
Told you, it looks like a monkey.
they can see that there's a metal nail in its back. Oh my god, it's invented tools. The forensic analysis and the construction materials in its back did cast some doubt over its authenticity. But you
Some doubt? What do you mean some?
gotta believe in something, damn it. As promised, the Nino was returned to the Inuen Temple, where it still lives today. But where, oh where, did my mermaid go? It's her! You're
Mermaid!
back! You know
Very
what,
cute.
I kind of missed you. And what the hell is that?
Run. Run!
You know what, I never did
Run!
find her again. I think these things are a big myth.
Run, don't pay her child support. Yu-Gi-Oh!
We're here on the ancient streets of Cairo.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
And there is our destination. In these triangles, the greatest luxury that all the elites crave.
God, I love internet historian.
No, not that. The second most thing that mummies. You can find them in these tombs, and there's
Mummy.
only ever like one dude guarding them. But before we take, we must understand. Mummification started over 5,000 years ago, and they were first discovered by the Europeans in the 15th century. But the legend goes the locals knew about them even earlier than that. It's an elaborate process, but essentially you're drying the person out, turning them into a human salami. All right.
I studied a little bit of like Egyptian like history when I was in like high school. I never once thought that they were like salami. But honestly, he's kind of not wrong. You're like you're drying out a piece of meat, you're curing it, you're slathering it in a bunch of like anti like drying out agent, and then you wrap them up. Yeah, it's literally like beef jerky, like salami.
All right, so when the Europeans found
And you
all
wrap
these
'em up.
mummies, what do you think they did? Put it in a museum, right? Wrong.
I know that Mummy Brown, which is a color for the official like artistry paint, they actually made Mummy Brown so much that they ran out of mummies at some point. Yeah, and they ate them too. Yeah, they did. I remember reading that as well.
They used these mothers for everything,
Big piss.
and everybody wanted
Massive
them.
piss. Oh yeah. Yo, Hellboy, thank you so much. Thank you for the 2 months. Yeah, the British ate them. Yeah. They made paint out of them as well.
I mean, they used them for everything. Well, fancy people would take whole mummies and show them off to their friends at fancy dinners. To really
Yeah.
show off the owner's wealth, they would sometimes unwrap them too. They were used as paint.
Yeah, they can't make Mummy Brown anymore, or they can make synthetic versions, but basically they don't have any real one anymore. Because it's illegal to make them out of mummies now.
Call this Mummy Brown, by the way. They were used as fertilizer.
Oh man, talk about supercharging your soil.
They were even consumed.
Don't mind if I do.
No, not like this. By grinding them up into powder and taking them like a herbal supplement. Which
why? It's a dead person. Why would you do that? Man, people are so weird.
they called mumia.
And you guys think that the internet is the reason we're weird. We've been weird for so long.
But with such high demand for your mum, after a while, they began to run out of stock.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. They were becoming rarer and rarer to find. They were being gobbled off the face of the earth. So the authorities passed a bunch of laws to protect mummies from becoming altogether extinct. These are the last two of their species, and they're both male, but they won't mate. No. But the mummy is much like the Tasmanian tiger. Every once in a while, one will just kind of show up and prove that they're not altogether extinct.
Open the door.
Open the
The
door.
year 2013. The location, Deifuls in northwest Germany. We are at the
Deutsch.
Kettler household, owned by grandfather Kettler, who is now dead. But he had a son, Lutz Kettler, and Lutz Kettler also had a son, Alexander Kettler, and they are both there at the house. After
Internet only made weirdness more prominent due to anonymity.
Yeah, I'm just saying that we've always been weird.
a rainy day, there was a leak in the roof. So 10-year-old Kettler gets up into the attic to explore. You know, have a bit of a look around. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. Old antiques, photographs.
Wow.
And, oh, some old roof tiles. Those will be useful. So he goes over to the roof tiles and, behind them is something strange. A box. A mystery box. Now the kid is smart and he's seen Jumanji, so he knows not to touch the box and instead go tell his dad. Now the dad drags the box into the center of the room. What? And he opens it. And inside, a smaller box. But it's very curious because it is covered in hieroglyphs. So
I would not open it and then leave the house forever.
Lutz crosses his fingers, hoping nothing supernatural will happen. And he opens the inner box. Inside is a mummy. Oh my god. But there's more. There's also two smaller boxes. One contained a death mask, and the other a canopic
And you think that house isn't cursed?
jar. Alright, so we might have a dead body in the house now. So naturally, he calls the authorities. The police show up and ask some questions. Lutz then explains a little bit of backstory. He remembers that in the 1950s, his father went to Derna in Libya. There, he acquired a chest and had it shipped back home. He remembers a conversation about it, but grandfather Kettler insisted that it was a replica. Das ist ein Replika, son. Not a real mummified person. Now, at this point, the police did not think it was a real body, but it was worth getting it scanned just in case. So he loaded it up in his station wagon, and off he went to the Berlin Archaeological Institute.
Wow.
Now, they agreed to do a scan, and so they're fiddling with buttons and dials and stuff, and it's fake, right? It's fake? Well,
no. Yeah, he went to. You could get a replica anywhere. This is definitely a real person.
here's where things get a little more dramatic. Results inconclusive.
Wait, what?
There is a fully formed skeleton here. Now that is unusual for a fake. Often a fake will just be shaped like a person, then filled with sticks and cloth and rubbish.
Why would you even want a fake one in your house? It's so weird.
However, it got even stranger. They found that all of the bones were wrapped in some sort of metal plating or foil. Next they looked at the skull, and that's where things were the most odd. It was very realistic. Its teeth had roots. Its form was more intricate than the typical fake. It also had a laurel, but even more notably, there was an arrowhead lodged in the eye socket. Now that is very unusual for a fake. Hold on, I got more evidence to do. So they're doing more tests and stuff. All right, we've carbon tested the linen wraps. What's the verdict? Well, those are from the 1900s. Now the plot is thickening. We have a supposed fake mummy, but with a very realistic skull, perhaps murdered by an arrow to the head and bandages that date to the modern day. That presents a new problem, because it's not unheard of for people to do a murder in the modern day and then cover things up by disguising the body as an ancient artifact. For example, in the year 2000, there was a man who claimed he found the mummy of an ancient Persian princess, the daughter of Xerxes. However, when they examined the body, they found it was, in fact, a potential murder victim from 1996 who died from bludgeoning.
What? Weird? You think that's weird? I think that's wild.
All right, so the police now actually have to get involved, and it's about to get even more complicated. So they confiscate the body and they do their own tests, and the results this time say, nope, this thing is 2,000 years old. It's not fake at all. It's ancient. What? So eventually the experts all get together and go, okay, this is dumb. Let's take it to Eppendorf University and have it properly tested, and not just tested, crack the thing open like a delicious Kinder Surprise. So this new set of experts gets to work, and when they open up the mummy... All right, remember how we said that the bones were covered in a special type of foil or metal plating?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out the scientists didn't quite get that right. Instead, the bones were sprayed with a metallic chemical that prevented X-rays from going through. The bones were made from plastic. Or at least the body was. Turns out the skull is real. Yes, a real skull, and not from an ancient mummy, but from a 20th century man. However, it was not a murder. This skull is from a cadaver, and it was medically prepared for educational purposes.
Oh my god, someone stole a fake cadaver, a real cadaver, used fake bones, and then sold it to a guy in, like, the 1920s in Libya? This makes no fucking sense.
And what about that arrowhead? Well, it turns out that that's from a children's toy. Someone just popped that in the eye socket as a joke. So finally, the mystery was solved. It's just a plastic skeleton with a real dead guy's head put on it.
What the
Wait, how does that solve the mystery? Anyway, so Lutz was satisfied that the whole thing was fake and not a murder victim. Oh, let's put that back in the attic, he said very Germanly. But then, eine Bitte? Was ist das? He says. Another box?
Oh,
the Book of the Dead? Well, that sounds like...
I donate my body to science if the story turned out as wild as this.
No, but someone stole a cadaver too, because what he said is that he's implying that they prepared it for a cadaver for, like, studying, and they stole the skull and then put a fake little toy in it in the eye socket.
It's like a fun read. So Lutz starts reading the ancient Egyptian out loud. Anaxunamun, Imhotep, Brendan Fraser, and what happened next will shock you and make for a very good thumbnail.
That was scary.
Hey there, champ. You're probably wondering why I'm out here on this park bench. Sometimes I just come to see the autumn leaves.
Come?
Winter will be here soon. Dust in the wind.
Okay. Sir, it is spring, not autumn.
Truth is, sport, I have a highly contagious respiratory disease. I won't be around much longer. Dust in the wind. I'm like Willy Wonka from that movie.
Oh, it's autumn in New Zealand.
Like that?
Oh, yeah, he's from New Zealand. Right.
Ugly kid from the Willy Wonka movie who gets all his stuff. Or the Oompa Loompa. I don't know. I haven't seen it. The point is, you're so close to being fancy. I can feel it.
I am fancy.
There's just
Shut
one lesson left to learn. Anyway, speaking of ancient Egypt, here's this ancient Egyptian gun. Franz Ferdinand.
Wait,
What are you doing here? Of course, he's not the real Franz Ferdinand. He's a mummy. Now, the thing about the ancient Egyptian gun is that it's very sensitive. Uh-oh. I hit your congratulations for being somewhat fancy cake. Come on, Mr. Ferdinand. We've got to clean this up before the Park Services Commission hears about this, and they make another complaint. Right, we're almost done with the series, and then it's back to the usual content. So in case you missed it, there's also Drinking on Incognito, a new story mode out next week. And if you like fancy, that's great. But if you don't like fancy, don't worry, it's not forever.
Alana, when I die you can sell off my bones and say they are ancient.
I'm good. I don't need it.
Ooh, goodbye. Ooh.
Goodbye.
Don't forget NordVPN. NordVPN.com/internet.
NordVPN, NordVPN.
You'll love it.
That's right, chat. NordVPN. NordVPN. Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Internet Historian. Very good video. Very funny series. Love that guy. Very funny. Humorous.